Architects spent $5 billion to construct the most expensive stadium on Earth, only to realize it violates a fundamental structural rule required to host a World Cup match. To fix it, engineers are now forced to physically demolish portions of their own concrete stands just months before 94,000 fans pour through the gates. This tournament spans 3 nations and 16 monumental arenas, and we are ranking them from the smallest construction headache up to the single most complex engineering gamble in sports history. Stick around until the final countdown, because the crown jewel of this list is so massive, the entire Statue of Liberty could fit inside it with room to spare. Our massive journey across the continent begins in a place that is currently a construction zone. Toronto Stadium, known to locals as BMO Field, sits in Ontario, Canada, and it holds the title of the smallest venue on our list. With a tournament capacity of 45,000 seats, it is the cozy corner of the 2026 World Cup. But getting it to this size was a massive headache. Engineers had to figure out how to add 17,000 temporary seats to a stadium that normally only holds 30,000. These stands rise high above the existing structure, and they have sparked intense debate online about whether they are sturdy enough for a screaming World Cup crowd. Officials say they are 100% safe, but the sightlines from the back row are so steep it feels like you are watching the game from a skyscraper.
Temporary seating, I'm a little worried about that because, it's shaky.
It feels a bit like trying to just get it together last minute. It's also really ugly.
But organizers say fans shouldn't worry.
I've been up there. It's a spectacular view and it feels perfectly sturdy and safe.
Just a short flight away in the hills of Zapopan, we find a stadium that looks like it belongs in a fantasy movie. Estadio Guadalajara, often called Estadio Akron, is a visual masterpiece designed to look like a grass-covered volcano. It fits 48,000 fans and features a white roof that resembles a puff of smoke or a cloud levitating above the crater. The cool part? The entire exterior slope is covered in real green grass, allowing the building to blend into the landscape. But while the outside is all about nature, the inside is a high-tech cauldron. It is the home of the legendary Chivas Club, and for 2026, it is getting a $12 million facelift to make sure the fan experience is as explosive as its volcano design. Rounding out our first group of venues is the steel giant. Estadio Monterrey sits in Guadalupe, Mexico, and it is widely considered to have the most beautiful view in all of sports. It has a capacity of 53,500 people, and if you sit in the northwestern section, you are framed by a perfect view of the Cerro de la Silla mountain. But building a steel giant in the Mexican heat is an engineering nightmare. The stadium uses special gills in its metallic facade to let air flow naturally through the stands, keeping fans cool without massive air conditioning bills. They have even upgraded the pitch with advanced moisture and temperature sensors because natural grass usually struggles to survive in this climate. Moving from the heat of Mexico to the windy coast of British Columbia, we reach our first major deep dive. BC Place Vancouver. This 54,000-seat stadium is a technological marvel today, but it has a dark history. Back in January of 2007, the original air-supported roof actually collapsed. Sleet and wind caused a massive tear in the fabric, and the whole thing deflated in front of the world. It was a structural disaster that taught engineers a massive lesson about internal pressure and snow accumulation. Today, that old fabric has been replaced by the largest cable-supported retractable roof of its kind. It uses a complex web of steel cables to hold a central tent that can open or close in just 20 minutes. It turns the arena into an open-air spectacle, which is vital because Vancouver is famous for its rain. Wait until you hear about the $5 billion stadium in Los Angeles later in the video, because the tech in Vancouver is just the tip of the iceberg. Now we take 2 quick stops in the United States. First is Boston Stadium, or Gillette Stadium, in Foxborough. It holds 65,000 people and is a veteran of the global stage, having hosted the Women's World Cup in 2003. It is currently undergoing a massive renovation to add a new lighthouse and a giant high-definition video board that will be one of the largest in the country. Then we head south to Miami Stadium. Hard Rock Stadium also holds 65,000 fans and is a luxury hub that has hosted 6 Super Bowls. It is so modern that they even built a Formula One racetrack around the perimeter. Imagine watching the greatest soccer players on earth while high-speed cars blur past just outside the walls. If you are enjoying this deep dive into the cathedrals of football, kindly like and subscribe to help us build the best sports community on YouTube. Our next deep dive takes us to the city of brotherly love, where the stadium is literally a green power plant. Philadelphia Stadium, or Lincoln Financial Field, holds 69,000 fans, but its real secret is on the roof. This is one of the greenest buildings in the world. There are over 11,000 solar panels and 14 micro wind turbines installed all around the stadium rim. They produce enough energy to power the entire venue for 10 home games every single year. It is so efficient that on days when there is no game, the stadium actually sells electricity back to the city grid. It is a massive engineering win that proves you can host a world-class event while helping the planet. But as impressive as this solar giant is, it cannot compare to the noise levels we are about to experience in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle Stadium, or Lumen Field, is a 69,000-seat horseshoe-shaped fortress. It was designed specifically to be as loud as possible. The 2 massive overhanging roofs act like mirrors for sound, reflecting the screams of the fans back down onto the field. It is so loud that in 2011, the crowd created a literal earthquake during a touchdown run. The seismic activity was actually picked up by nearby sensors. It is a terrifying place for visiting teams to play, but it is not the only noise machine on our list. Moving to the land of glamour, we find the Los Angeles Stadium, better known as SoFi Stadium. This is a $5 billion masterpiece, making it the most expensive stadium ever built on Earth. It holds 70,000 people, but can expand to 100,000 for the World Cup. The wow factor here is the infinity screen, a dual-sided video board that hangs from the roof and contains 80 million pixels. It is larger than the football field itself, but there is a massive engineering problem here. Because the stadium was built for American football, the corner areas are too narrow for FIFA rules. To fix this, engineers are actually having to remove portions of the lower concrete stands just to make the grass pitch fit. Just a few hours north is the San Francisco Bay Area Stadium, or Levi's Stadium. It holds 71,000 people and is the high-tech heart of Silicon Valley. It was the first professional football stadium in the country to receive a gold certification for sustainability. It features a massive green roof on top of the suite tower that grows local plants to help cool the building. It is smart, efficient, and sleek, but wait until you hear about the fatal flaw in the roof of our next stadium in Houston. Houston Stadium, or NRG Stadium, is a 72,000-seat titan that made history in 2002. It was the first NFL stadium ever built with a retractable roof, but being a pioneer comes with risks. In 2008, Hurricane Ike slammed into Houston and literally tore sections of the roof cladding off, causing massive water damage inside. This brings us back to our hook, the 2,000-ton roof. Because of the way the roof is shaped, it actually wants to fly away like a giant wing when the wind gets too high. To prevent the stadium from losing its top, engineers had to design a first-of-its-kind computerized clamping system. These massive steel clamps grip the roof rails with incredible force, essentially bolting the roof to the foundation when a storm is coming. If those clamps fail during a hurricane, the entire 2,000-ton structure could be lifted into the air. But if you want to talk about raw, ear-splitting power, you have to go to Kansas City Stadium. Arrowhead Stadium holds 73,000 fans and holds the Guinness World Record for the loudest crowd roar ever recorded. During a game in 2014, the noise reached 142.2 decibels. For context, that is louder than a jet engine taking off only 100 feet away. It is a simple open-air concrete bowl, but the shape of the seating levels helps focus all that energy onto the grass. It is a terrifying sonic environment that will test the eardrums of every soccer fan in 2026. Further east is the Atlanta Stadium, or Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It holds 75,000 people and has the most unique roof in the world. Instead of 2 panels that slide back and forth, this roof has 8 massive petals that open and close like a camera shutter. Each pedal weighs millions of pounds and must move in perfect synchronization. Inside, there is a 5-story tall halo video board that circles the entire roof opening. It is a high-tech marvel, but even this feels small compared to the final 3 giants. Our runner-up for the biggest stadium is the New York, New Jersey Stadium, known to everyone as MetLife. This 82,500-seat monster is a concrete titan that will host the World Cup final on July 1926. It cost $1.6 billion to build and is a masterpiece of efficiency. But the big challenge here is the clean stadium policy. Because FIFA does not allow corporate names, every single piece of MetLife branding is currently being covered up or removed. It is a massive undertaking to hide the identity of one of the most famous buildings in America just for 1 month of soccer. Moving from the modern final to the most legendary soil in sports history, we reach the Mexico City Stadium. The Estadio Azteca is the only stadium on Earth that has hosted 3 different World Cups. It holds 83,000 people and sits over 7,000 feet above sea level. This is where Pelé and Maradona were crowned as kings. The engineering challenge here is the altitude. The air is so thin that the ball travels faster and players can barely breathe. It is currently undergoing a $75 million renovation to bring this old legend into the 21st century. Finally, we arrive at the undisputed king of North American stadiums, Dallas Stadium, known as AT&T Stadium or the Death Star. This is the largest venue in the lineup with a tournament capacity of 94,000 seats. The engineering here is mind-blowing. The entire structure is supported by 2 giant arches that span over 1,200 feet, making them the longest single-span roof structures in the world. The stadium is so big that the entire Statue of Liberty could fit inside it with the roof closed. But the real secret is the pressure. The curved roof and massive scale create a roar that is so focused it can physically shake the players on the field. It is the biggest, the boldest, and the most complex stadium ever to host a World Cup match. It is the absolute peak of human engineering, and it is ready to welcome the world. With the Death Star standing as the ultimate peak of North American design, the scale of global stadiums only gets crazier from here. To see how these 16 giants compare to the rest of the world, click here to discover the single biggest stadium on every continent.